How's it going, guys? Grimsie42 here, and I have the pickups from the recently passed A Video Game Convention in Parsippany, New Jersey. I got some pretty cool stuff. I think you guys will be excited, so let's check it out. Alright guys, so like I said, I have just recently gotten back from A Video Game Convention. That's the name of the convention. It's a convention held in Parsippany, if I'm not mistaken, New Jersey. And it's basically a pretty darn cool show. They had some really cool guests this year. Pat the NES Punk was there, Gaming Historian was there, 8-Bit Eric actually came last minute, Justin Silverman. They had a huge free play area of not only arcades, but consoles, all different kinds of stuff, so really, really cool. Dealer floor was packed. There was all kinds of vendors there trying to sling their goods, and I got a decent amount of stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what I got. First item you're actually looking at, I got this really cool Dreamcast shirt. I got this from a friend of mine, Antoinette. I was very grateful. And in addition, she also gave me, if I'm not mistaken, my first PC game ever, and it's Dragon's Lair. I think this is like... yeah, this is like DOS or something, or maybe IBM, so I don't even think I have a method to play this unless I do that like crazy thing the computer guys do where they like clone an operating system or whatever. Beyond my measure. I was really grateful to get it though. Anything that, you know, is a gift from somebody, regardless of its monetary value or its personal value, is something that it's a gesture of kindness, so always cool to get stuff like that. Anyways, into the pickups. The first item that I actually got game-wise, I don't know, this is the first video game thing, because it's not technically a game either. Weird. Sorry guys, as you can tell, I haven't done a video in a while, so I'm a bit out of sorts. I can actually explain that too. So, I know you guys have been commenting on other videos, Facebook, etc., as to where I have been recently. At least a month out of the last 5 weeks, I was actually out of town. I got sent to Boston, or a suburb of Boston more specifically, for my work. There was a sister company there that needed some assistance, so I haven't been home, so I haven't really been able to do anything like video game hunting or stuff like that. I actually did go to one game store while I was there, and I got a huge stack of manuals, but that's not something I think was really video worthy, so I passed on that. But I am back, so you guys will see some content. I'm actually doing a few videos today, so there will be stuff in the future also. Anyways, to that first video game pickup of sorts, it's the case for Splatterhouse 2. And this was also from Antoinette. She was, and you can actually tell it's the authentic one because it says Namco, but she was trying to sell game and box, and her game had a little bit of label damage. Ironically, I already had the game. I didn't have a manual, and since this didn't have a manual, I asked her if she'd just sell me the box, and she did. So I got a really good price on it, and it's cool to get this one step closer to complete. The next pickup is, I guess, what you would call my slip of the show. A lot of times I like to go off the cuff on my knowledge of prices, and I will admit occasionally I'm not on top of my game. The item in question here is a sealed copy of Unjammer Lammy, and I've said it in the past, 100% to respect of retro games, so anything Dreamcast or older. I am absolutely not a sealed collector. I don't want a sealed game. Even if I won't ever get around to playing it, I like the ability to play it, and I don't like to be that person to open a sealed game and diminish the value to another potential collector. I don't want to, you know, do things that could upset others that really there's no reason to. I could find open copies. However, in the case of Unjammer Lammy, at the end of the day, if I see a sealed game cheaper or at the same price as its open counterpart, I'll typically still pick it up and then trade it to a friend who is into sealed games, or somebody that enjoys opening them, and then obviously I get a little something on the side for the extra value. I was under the impression, because I knew Parappa the Rapper was a little bit more expensive, that the sequel of sorts would be at least at par. Unfortunately, it turns out that the $20 posted here is about what this game goes for sealed. Luckily, I did haggle and I got it for $15. So not a terrible deal, but at the same time, I thought I was getting something that was like a $40 or so sealed game at minimum. But it turns out I pretty much paid what it was worth. So not terrible, but just something where it caught me off guard, and it was due to my lack of knowledge on Jammer Lammy. So, told it's not a good game. That's why it's a little less valuable than Parappa. The next game here I picked up from a dealer, and I will put his information right here. Unfortunately, it fails to come to my top of my non-practiced head here, but it's a game I've been looking for quite some time, and I've seen it at a few stores, but I let friends, actually 2 different occasions I can recall, I let friends pick it up over me because they were looking for it a little worse than I was, but I definitely wanted to get it, and I'm really happy I did. This is a copy of Ghost in the Shell, and this is one of the games that I believe Metal Jeeves is featured on his Hidden Gems, and it's basically, obviously from the front you can tell, based off of a very popular Japanese animation, manga, whatever you call it, and basically what's really cool about this, there's a few things actually. So first of all, it's actually a really good game. You control a 3D tank. I think they have names. I forget what it is. Metal Jesus Butchers, whatever they're called. Fujikoma? Yeah, Fujikoma. And it's like an open world 3D tank game where you basically just shred stuff, but it also has, like, I think like 20 minutes of original animation on this from the original voice actors and stuff, so it's basically a free episode and exclusive episode. But what else makes this cool is I believe there's going to be a Ghost in the Shell film coming out in the near future with Scarlett Johansson, and I think just like Deadpool, when that happened, all of his merchandise memorabilia went up in value, so this potentially could go up in value in the near future. It's already about a $50 game. I got this for, I want to say $35. The vendor was really cool to give me a good price on that. The next items I'm going to show you, I got all 3 of these from a buddy of mine, Dan Ungar. He has a YouTube channel, and I will link it below for you guys to check out. He is also affiliated with that convention in Connecticut. I will put that information right there. And I am unable to attend it just due to the timing conflicts. I'll actually be in Florida when it's happening, but it's a really good convention from what I hear. They had the Game Chasers as guests last year. I believe Pat the NES Punk is a guest this year. It's put on by some of the guys who run Retroware, so pretty cool show. If you're in the area, I definitely recommend you check it out. Like I said, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to check it out. I really actually regret it because I missed it last year, so this is 2 years in a row. I hope that the next year it doesn't like clash with a trip that I have planned. But anyways, the 3 items I got from him, I'll show you the item that I got first. I guess I'll show them to you in the order that I got them, because basically I picked these up separately, and then I wish I would have bundled, but I got great prices on all of them, so it's really not a big deal. The first one is basically everything but the cart for a very uncommon Super Nintendo game. It's something that I actually have never seen this box in person, so I'm really happy to get this. It's a not so good point-and-click PC port, but it's still got really cool art and it's in really good shape. It's Syndicate, and it's got shrink wrap on it still, so it kind of makes it hard to see the condition, but it's in really good shape. It's in a box protector, and like I said, it's got all the extra swag, like the manual, all the inserts, even got the bag that the cartridge was in, so that was really cool. And I want to say I got that for $40, which I thought was really, really fair. These next ones here, one was a box upgrade and a manual edition, and the other one was a box and manual edition. These are box and manual only. The first one is Vice Project Doom, and that's a game that's shot up in, you know, the past couple of years. Not that everything for Nintendo hasn't, pretty much, but Vice is a really cool game, and I think it's really a game that kind of pioneered multi-genre games. I like to compare this to Die Hard Trilogy for the PlayStation 1. And what I mean by that is this has driving segments similar to Spy Hunter. It's got action-adventure segments similar to something like maybe a Ninja Gaiden. And then it also has a first-person shooter aspect, all in one game. And I think they do them all pretty well. I mean, obviously the cover art just like screams late 80s, early 90s, but still pretty cool, and something I'm glad to have. This next one here is the upgrade, if you will, on the box, which is cool because my box wasn't amazing, and this one's really, really good. It's actually still got the shrink wrap on it, and it has the extra inserts and stuff, and it actually pretty cool because this is part of a 6-part set that I'm glad that I finally truly have complete, because like I said, I was missing the manual for this. But the game I'm mentioning or talking about is Mega Man 2. And this is, by a lot of people's opinion, myself included, the best Mega Man on the NES. I really wish you could charge your Mega Buster in this one, but really I think that's all this one's missing. And just a really, really, really good game. I mean, you've all heard of it at this point, but just really awesome to get this in such good shape. And I want to say for the two of these I paid $60. So I mean, again, they're just box and manual, but to get both these, and then like I said, this was a box upgrade, so I have that spare to trade. That's a pretty dang good deal, and I'm really, really grateful to Dan for hooking me up with that. Alright, as far as at the actual convention, those were all the items I picked up. I've kind of gotten stingy in my old age of collecting, where when I go to these conventions, you usually don't see me getting the huge hauls that I've gotten in the past, maybe without the exception of the Midwest Gaming Classic, because it's just so massive I can find a lot of stuff. But I try to be really choosy on what I buy. Obviously, I do want to support vendors and obviously the hobby, but I'm also very cautious on the prices I pay. I don't just want to throw money out there and, you know, blindly make purchases and buy things that I really can't afford or shouldn't spend that much on. But I did stop at a store, a very popular store actually, with Pat the NES Punk and Norm the Gaming Historian after the show. It's called Digital Press. And basically, it's a really, really popular game store in New Jersey. I will link all of the information below. I definitely recommend if you guys are in or around the area, you check it out. And just basically, because of Pat and Norm's YouTube fame, I was also allowed to tag along into their basement and check out some of the stuff they had that wasn't necessarily priced yet or for sale. And I picked up two items. One that I spotted like as soon as I got down there, and another one that I saw like as I was leaving, so that was really cool. The item that I spotted first was, and this is everything but the carts, so I am on the hunt for that, but it's the box manual inserts, etc. for Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance. And from what I'm told, all these Game Boy Castlevanias are really, really good. Very similar to Symphony of the Night, which is my favorite Castlevania, and it has very similar art style. So really, really cool. I want to say I got this for 15 or 20 bucks, so I thought that was super fair, because I think complete this is pretty expensive. The last item I got from them is kind of a cool display, and there was no like real set value on price, nor could you look it up. I'm sure sometime ever one is sold, but this is, I think, the first time I've ever seen this in person. It's basically a cardboard box for Final Fantasy VIII. And what's cool about it is it still has like the exact same size as I just dropped it and shape of a standard PlayStation jewel case. So it's a really cool display item, and I want to say maybe stores like EB Games had these in their in their stores back in the day, but this isn't like nowadays with GameStop where they have displays for like everything. This was something that's pretty unique, something you don't see very often, and I wound up getting it for 10 bucks. So I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was a good deal. If anyone has any information on these, whether like the rarity, their price, etc., let me know. But I just thought this was a pretty cool PlayStation 1, display piece, because I really have very little of that, so I picked it up. And the last items I have here, 3 manuals. My buddy Oleg, who goes by Mr. Syntastic, found a pretty cool lot of NES manuals at a garage sale for $1. It was like 12 manuals. And of those, I actually needed a couple for my Nintendo set. And he was kind enough to just give them to me since he got the whole lot for $1. The first one, and what's cool about these, is all 3 of these complete these games for me. First one is Spider-Man Return of the Sinister Six. Unfortunately not the best game ever. It's actually LJN. The next one is Ren and Stimpy Show Buckaroos. Last but not least, something that could have been an amazing game, but unfortunately it wasn't. Nintendo wanted nothing to do with this one. The unofficial sequel to Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, which is Power Punch 2. Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up what I have for you today. If you attended the Video Game Con, comment down below. Let me know what you thought of it. And again, it's definitely something I recommend you guys check out. All of the stuff I talked about will be linked down below, so you can definitely give it a look. And something, like I said, that I think the guys that put this, the guys and the gals rather, that put this convention on really put their full effort out. I think it was a pretty good show. It was something I really had a good time with, and something I think you guys should check out if you're in the area. you know, for the following convention that's coming up. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you sticking around to the end. Like I said, I am back, hopefully with a vengeance. I'm going to do a few more videos today, so I'll have kind of a backlog just in case life gets in the way again. I'll have, you know, content for you guys in the interim. But appreciate you sticking around to the end, and as always, take care.